I've thought about this a lot. What's the strategy for a non-tough guy in prison, right? Like you're not 6'6" debt collector. How do you thrive in this environment?
Make sure you get arrested with wild man and over 100 people who are your bouncers from the rave scene. Because if I'd have gone in there on my own, I'm not a big tough guy. I'm just a nerdy business graduate. It's raw survival of the fittest. I would have been annihilated by those gang members. But once they saw there was a pack of us, you know, they're like everyone who's coming into the jail. It's like animalistic, and they're looking for the weakest in the herd to slaughter. So, you know, if you're in there with your bouncers and you're clicking up with the Italian mafia, and Wildman was behaving like a maniac in there, you know, and showing people how crazy and dangerous he was, people are not going to go towards that. They're going to go towards less dangerous situations to threaten people and bully people and try and extort people and get money and commissary out of them. Now, my co-defendants were only around me for the first year because the prosecutor wanted me and Wildman to be separate. She wanted me to be separate from my co-defendants. By doubling my bail, she got me away from them. So I didn't know anybody in max security. She said that we were influencing the co-defendants not to break down and snitch. Sammy the Bull, who was my competitor, 57 people got arrested with him. They all agreed to cooperate. In my case, over 100 got arrested and only 4 agreed to cooperate. Everybody hung tight, and that's because we were so close-knit. So the prosecutor was concerned that I was influencing the co-defendants. So I got moved up to higher and higher security levels away from them.
Can you age out of the game? Like at some point you must be able to. If you're 79 years old, they don't expect you to be an enforcer of any kind, right?
There's guys in there who've earned their stripes. There was a guy who saved my life at one point called Two Tonys. He was a multiple homicide murderer. He was doing 141 years. He'd left the dead bodies of rival gangsters from Arizona to Alaska. He worked for the Bonanno crime family under Joe Bonanno Sr., who was the longest running head of the Mafia Council, who never got whacked. He ended up living in the same neighborhood as me, Sin Vacas, in the Catalina Mountains in Tucson, Arizona, most beautiful place I've ever lived in my life. And Two Tonys, he took me under his wing. I had a situation when I got moved over to a prison where I didn't know anybody, and Two Tonys found out and helped me out. So I get to this new cell, don't know anybody. My cellmate is a serial home invader, torturer. He's breaking into people's houses, mostly drug dealers, tying up with duct tape and taking ball-peen hammers to their kneecaps. That was his favorite method of torture. So I show up in his cell, and he says to me, you know, I put my property down on my bunk, and he had some artwork up there. And he's like, you need to be more aware of your fucking surroundings. And he starts threatening me, saying I could smash your brains in while you sleep. I've got a padlock in the sock. And he didn't like me from the get-go. He was an old con. He just wanted to run his illegal tattoo shop and do his heroin and everything in there. He didn't want me in there. So he schemed to get rid of me. Now, he had a mate, a big guy, 20-plus stone, which is 240 pounds. And they timed it. Prison is like high school mentality with deadly consequences. They knew my parents were flying 5,000 miles to visit me for Christmas. So they timed it. The attack, this big guy attacked me just as I'm walking down this corridor to visit my parents. So he sneaks up behind me. He's like, bam, bam. Chicken shit move, didn't get in my face, comes up behind me, kidney punching. And, I'm not skilled in the arts of fighting at that point. So I turn around, start throwing some kicks and punches. You got no choice. The prisoner's looking at you. If you don't hit back, you're a punk. Everyone's got to prey on you. I'm throwing some kicks and punches, and I end up getting beat down on the floor. Didn't work out well for me. Fortunately, a staff member came, and it ended. My mom sees me at visitation. I'm all injured. She asks what's wrong. I can't say, She's already had a nervous breakdown on my situation. I did manage to get moved out of that cell. And my new cellmate, Long Island, he come from a prison where his neighbor said to him, look, I did business with this guy on the streets called English Shaun. He's a good dude. If you run into him, look out for him. Now, bear in mind, there's 60,000 people in the Arizona Department of Corrections at that time. So it's weird how people came out of the blue to help me. People came out of the blue to harm me. So Long Island goes, look, I've got a friend, Two Tonys. You want to play a game of chess with him? He knew if two Tonys liked me, he would take me under his wing. He didn't tell me that. He was a bit more slick. I said, yeah, you know, fine. What's he in for? Oh, he's old school mafia, multiple homicide murder, 141 years. I'm like, whoa, hold on a minute. You want me to play chess against this guy? If I win, I might be next on his list. You know, he just goes and gets him, and he comes down the stairs like Uncle Junior. He's already served 20. He's already served 20 plus years. I'm stood in the day room over the chessboard, nervous, sweating. He sees that. He puts me at ease in a fake British accent. He's like, "Have you had bloody tea and crumpets with the Beatles?" And, you know, joking around, clowning around. I beat him at chess, and at the end of the game, he says, "Look, how come you beat me so fast?" I said, "You kept speaking your mind all through the game. You wouldn't show someone your hand in a game of cards, would you?" And he slaps his head. He goes, "Oh, me and my big mouth." I didn't know it. He was testing me. He said, "Look, Shaun, to stay alive on the road of life, I've had to become a quick judge of character. I like you. I think you're an honest guy. Would you be willing to write my life story?" I said, "Yeah, I would be honored."